Hi, and welcome back to another Football Manager 24 video. Today, we'll be taking a look if the best team in Football Manager can win the Premier League and any other cups that they are competing in. So without any further ado, let's jump straight into the video. First things first, what do I understand under best team in Football Manager? Well, for the purpose of this video, I have selected a tactic which has a lot of different positions. In those positions, I am going to be searching for the best players in those roles based on data. And if you don't know how I go and search for those players, then go ahead and watch the video in the description where I explain how I decide which player is the best to play in which position based on data and Excel. So in this Excel, you can see all the stats of the best players in the game for the roles that you saw in the tactic. Pause the video right here if you want to see which player is the best for each tactic and if you want to take a closer look how good they actually are. I have selected these players out of 2000 players who had a current ability of 130 and higher. This means that some players have higher potential, so they could become better than those players currently, but at the start of the Football Manager game, these are the players that are the best for each position. To explain a little bit further, in this Excel you can see that Kylian Mbappe will be my starting advanced forward and Erling Haaland will be my reserve advanced forward. If we go ahead and filter on advanced forward, you see that Messi is actually the second best. However, he is the best in the advanced forward position, so I've chosen to use him there instead of the advanced forward position. All of the stats of these players are from the beginning of the Football Manager game. This means that players who have a better potential are not in this list because their current potential doesn't match right now. These players have been selected as the best in a database from over 2000 players. Of those 2000 players, all of them had a current ability of 130 or higher, so all the players that have a current ability of 130 and lower didn't get included in that list. And what does that look like in FM? Well, it looks like this. So we have Alisson in goal, Kante and Rice as our wingbacks, Diaz and Van Dijk as our ball-playing defenders, then Ugarte, Rodri in the middle of the midfield, Messi as our advanced midfielder, Silva and Neymar on the wings, and Mbappe in the attack. However, that means that we still need a bench, and the bench consists of very good players as well. We've got Ederson, Modric, Romero, Araujo and Verratti for our defense, where Modric and Verratti are going to be our wingbacks in the reserves. Then Camavinga and Lucas Hernandez will be our midfield duo in those ball-winning midfield and Segundo Volante positions. Martin Odegaard and Salah will be our backup wingers, and Kevin De Bruyne will be our advanced midfielder, with Erling Haaland being our reserve advanced forward. I've also added Vinicius Jr. and Jude Bellingham because they were very close to being one of the best players in the game, and I just still needed some more reserves to play in the team. To make sure that everybody gets played in their rightful position, and to make sure that, for example, Declan Rice isn't being played as a ball-winning midfielder, I have adjusted all of the players to the roles that they are the best in based on the data. So for example, right here we have Declan Rice, who is only be able to play as a defender in the right. Of course, the game can make sure once we sim that he's going to play in different positions, but at least I already told him he's only able to play in the right defender position. Same goes for N'Golo Kante, only on the left, and same goes for Virgil and Ruben Diaz, but also for example for Lionel Messi, who can only play in that advanced midfield position. This is to make sure that players aren't being played out of position and that they don't get played in a position where they shouldn't be the best, so to say. So this experiment is actually about, can this team of superstars, of players based on data, the best team in the game, win all the competitions that they compete in? The goal is only to win the Prem, but I'm also going to put the aim a little bit higher and try to also win the Club World Championship, the FA Cup, the English Community Shield, the Champions League, the Carabao Cup and the UEFA Super Cup. What I'll be doing is I'll be simming the game forward I'll be holidaying it with this tactic, and I'll be making sure that my assistant manager takes over all the duties while I am holidaying forward. And who can do it better than the one, the only Pep Guardiola? Brought him back with the editor, and he's going to try to win us all the titles that we are possibly competing in this season. So let's see if Pep Guardiola can actually make it happen. Before we sim forward to the end of the season, I would like to ask you if you would leave a like if you're liking this type of content and subscribe down below. It really helps me out. I've just surpassed the 100 subscribers and the next goal is the 200. So subscribe down below. I know a lot of you guys are watching and aren't already subscribed yet, so go ahead and click it down below. Really helps me out a ton. And let's jump straight further into the video. Alright guys, let's set it up. How I'm going to be doing this is I'm going to go and select go on holiday. I'm going to click use current match tactics, but I'm not going to click use current team selection whenever possible. I'm going to be removing all the players from the current tactic that I have, and I'm going to let Guardiola decide which players he wants to play. This way we have the highest chance of winning all the titles, because if we don't do that, then he's gonna keep playing Mbappe in that advanced forward position, but you play a lot of games, so he's going to get tired very easy. So it's better if he can just rotate, and that's why I've adjusted all the roles of the players so they can only play in one specific role. What I will be doing now is I will be simming through to the next year. So we will go to 2024, go to the 31st of July, or actually let's go to the end of May. Let's go sim to that date. For me, that will be a couple of hours, but for you, it will be a blip. So see you in a couple of seconds. Alright guys, looking very exciting now. It's the 3rd of June. I've just simmed through 1 year, and we're going to see how we actually did with the perfect team at the start of FM24. I'm really looking forward to this. We're going to go from lowest competition to highest competition, so we're going to be ending with the Champions League. But first things first, let's jump into the Super Cup. Okay, first thing, UEFA Super Cup. We won 4-1 against Sevilla, so the first prize with the super team is in. Let's see who did well. Vinicius scoring, Bernardo Silva, Vinicius and Ugarte. So 4 goals. Pretty comfortable victory from our manager Pep Guardiola. So Super Cup, first prize in the bag. Let's go ahead and jump to the Carabao Cup. The Carabao Cup ends in heartbreak, but actually see who won the cup. Nottingham Forest won after we lost 3-0 to Liverpool. Nottingham Forest managed to beat Liverpool in the final of the Carabao Cup and actually get it. That's insane. I've not seen that in a long while. So unfortunately, no Carabao Cup for Man City, but did we win the FA Cup? And this is how the FA Cup looked like. We did win it again. We beat Chelsea in the quarterfinals. Then we beat Arsenal in the final, and in the semis we beat Liverpool. So we do win the more important trophy, the FA Cup. But how did we actually do in the Premier League? You're going to be seeing that right now. And in the Premier League, of course, we have been crowned champions. Aston Villa with a very impressive 3rd place finish is very nice for them. And I think right here as well, Newcastle in 10th, that must be very disappointing for them. But we've ended with 97 points. Erling Haaland being our top goal scorer and also Salah actually having a great overall rating with 14 assists of Bernardo Silva. So to answer your question, can the best team in Football Manager win the Premier League? Yes it can, and quite handily. 80 points over on Arsenal, which is insanely good. But then also, did we get the bonus of the Champions League as well? Let's find out. We are officially the best team in Europe. We've won the Champions League once again, with Erling Haaland scoring a majestic 11 goals in this tourney and having a 7.67 average rating. It's very weird to me that I don't really see Mbappe up here, but let's see who we knocked out. So we knocked out Real San Sebastian in the round of 16. In the quarters we beat Paris, but just barely, 1-0. Then in the semis we beat Barcelona on aggregate 3-5. And then in the final we did beat AC Milan with a goal of none other than Kylian Mbappe. So Haaland scored more goals, but I think Mbappe was a lot more important for us in that competition. So very nice to see, and this is how we have done over the course of the whole season. So these are all the titles that we claimed. We've gotten the English Community Shield, the Champions League, Premier League, English FA Cup and the Super Cup, which means that we've won 5 prizes, and I think, if I am correct, we also have won the Club World Championship, so that's 6 prizes. So to answer the question, can the best team in Football Manager actually win the Premier League? Yes, it can. It can win the Premier League and so much more. I'm just going to show you one last thing before we end the episode, and that is how most of our players did. Here we are. Camavinga played the most games actually. Very surprising. And as you can see, Kylian Mbappe didn't play that many games. That is because our manager Pep Guardiola decided who he wanted to play. And I guess he wanted to play Erling Haaland all the time. Haaland didn't even get injured, I don't think, because he played 45 games. Maybe he did get injured, but he never entered as a substitute. So here's how everyone did. Erling Haaland scored 44 goals in 45 games. The top assister is Bernardo Silva, followed by Camavinga, who actually did insanely well in that position, and so did Rodri. They both have 30 goals, around 30 goals contribution in the season, which is absolutely insane. And with that, we have come to the end of this video. If you like these kind of videos, please do leave a like and subscribe down below. If you want to know how I make other choices, go ahead and click on the link in the description where it will lead you to the video where I explain how you can play Football Manager based on data. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed, I hope you've liked what we did, and I hope to see you in my next video.